Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. We'll get to you.
Just what Wilbur did for you also without Jacobson, and to get 27 minutes, and what can this kind of mean for him as you work your way through the center position there?
Yeah, just for his sanity and just making that free throw, right? Just so you can, it's really hard. I tried to tell him the last game, I thought, you did good things, you just didn't have a lot to show for it. You got to reward yourself by making your free throws. But I also told him that, nobody's trying to miss a free throw. When you do what you're supposed to, you give a great effort, and then you fail, hey man, just keep plugging. And I thought he got some elite rebounds, above the rim where he went high and was able to get it. And I think that's, you got to be consistent in your post D and your ball screen D and your rebounding. You got to play without turning it over. I know that sounds like kind of old school, but the game's old school. Just be fundamentally sound and then just finish around the rim. When you're 7'2", 260, just use your body and finish around the rim. And so it was good to see him play well and Caleb play well. And all of Raleigh's was conditioning. Obviously, when it's on E, it doesn't stand for elephant. So his tank was empty, and he proved it. And so we had that with some guys. Isaac Haas was that way. He kind of gets to 3 minutes of playing, and he didn't have any more oil in his engine. So this was one of those things where you're learning too, right? He gets thrown into a situation. I thought he did some good things for us, but he misses those layups bad, and he misses those free throws, and it's all conditioning. So we got to ramp some things up for him, but we also got to know how far he can go in a game where he needs to get a sub.
Why'd you say E? Why'd you pick elephant for E?
I don't know. It's just something we talked about growing up, like when someone run out of gas and they'd be on the side of the road and we just drive by them and yell that E doesn't stand for elephant. we probably said a few other things, but that was the kind of the crux of the story.
Matt, yesterday you were saying how, aside from Trey, none of your frontline players have really separated themselves, and kind of all give you different things. But when you're practicing against each other, Will talked about a variety of skill sets that you go against every day. How much can that kind of shape you, where you're seeing different things from Caleb or Raleigh or Daniel or Will every single day? Yeah,
you just want them to go in the game and put good games on top. And some of the things that happen in the game, you guys just simply don't know, because if you run a play or you do a defensive assignment and now they don't do what they're supposed to do. So you have to get them to where they know what they're doing and they can do their job every single time. Now when you know the rules and you stick to the rules, now competing is the most important thing. So then being able to compete. But I think all three of them bring different things for us. We'll see here with Daniel if he's able to play the next game, not able to play it all this year. He's out for a week, whatever his thing is the next man's up, and you got to be able to step up and be productive more than anything. Don't go out there and say man, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Just understand the game plan, understand what you're supposed to do. We drill everything that we do, and then just stick with it and do your job and have fun.
Going back there.
Coach, what did you notice about the versatility of scoring from NKU?
Well, more than anything, I think what was great for us is that they do a really good job defensively. It wasn't your question, but their matchup zone is something it's different, right? And anytime you can be unique, and you've got a chance to be special if you get good players to run your system and be able to do things. So, we had talked about Dilling and really trying to make him have tough looks. We thought he was their best shooter. He had the best percentage last year. And we were trying to keep the ball out of the paint and do a better job. Where we struggled the most is keeping him off the glass. They did a great job offensive rebounding, and we didn't do a good job of keeping him off the glass and boxing out and going to get the basketball. We also ran in on a lot of tough shots or long shots at the end, and you got to hold when you're on the perimeter. Long shots are going to go long, and then to be able to go and get that basketball. But no, they're a good team. They're going to be right there. They're going to be right there at the end and have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. Darren does a good job, and it's a hard level, but he's got some returners, he's got some new guys, and this helped us today. Like, you know, when we played Texas A&M Corpus Christi the other day, that helped us. Like this helped us. And we got a tough challenge, you know, Monday in Yale. And, you know, it'll be very, very competitive. They have a great program, but we've done a good job scheduling and bringing in, you know, quality opponents that are giving us challenges. That was a tough game for us. I know we win by 22, but, you know, what's the score if we play at their place or we play neutral, right? Like, keep stuff in perspective.
You just kind of touched on it a little bit, but what's the key to getting those long rebounds?
Yeah, well,
obviously prove that it's not just the big guys who rebound.
Right, well, and you can speak on it in theory, or you can speak on it like in placement on the court. Like if you're at the rim and you're boxing out and someone shoots a 25-footer, like you're not in the best position in the world. But so you got to hit him and create space and get out. But if I'm away from my man and I'm to the basketball and I'm going to go back, I got to go back, even if my man doesn't come. Because what you do is you create space there. So, but when you just sit there and run to the rim when someone shoots a 25-footer, like the ball's going to fly over your head. Like you got to be able to pick up the flight of the basketball. So you step to your man, you wait a little bit. If he comes, you box him out, then go get it. If he doesn't, now you've created some time and some space right there to be able to go get the basketball. So a lot of times what happens is in box outs, like contact takes your eyes off the basketball. So if I'm going to get the ball and you don't hit me, I'm just going to keep going, right? But now if I can get a piece of you, you're not going to keep a flight of that basketball, then you get hit, and then you're going to lose, you know, you're going to lose sight of that ball right there because that's what contact does. So we got to be more physical at times. And then when you break down and you're in a rotation or, you know, you whiff on your guy and your box out, just simply go get the ball. The play's over. Don't keep trying to box out. You have gotten behind the play. Now you got to scrap and go get the ball. But you also want that to be a collective front. Like you want everybody going to get it. You know, Braden is really good at it, even though he didn't get a lot tonight. You know, he's really good at that, of us being able to box out. Then he comes in and cleans it up. And that's ideal for us because we obviously want the ball in his hands when we push it. Okay.
Matt, you kind of challenged your team this week to talk a little more, be a little more energetic for each other. How do you feel like they responded after the first game?
They're just okay. Yeah. We got to get people out of their comfort level. We got to do more as a staff. We have too many people that compete like their personality off the court. And like you can be whatever you want off the court. That's who you are. That's how the Lord made you. But you got to be able to, you know, we're past telling them to talk. We're telling them to yell, you know, because they're probably talking then, right? You know, you have your slippage. So like we just got to do a better job. We had 3 or 4 times, and I can just remember on the top of my head, we just mess up ball screen stuff, and I'm like, why aren't you doing this? And then you'll watch it on tape, and then you'll say to yourself, like, why didn't we do what we were supposed to? And then you go to the guy on the ball and say, did he say something to you? Do you hear it? And he's like, I don't hear it. And the guy said, I said it. And you're like, and now you have that debate, right? It's an ongoing debate and competition when the tape can't prove what really happened. So it's so you just got to do a better job. You got to do a better job of yelling, and you know it's early, loud, and continuous what we talk about. But they slip a lot of screens, so we don't yell anything on slips. We stay away so we don't change our feet defensively, and we stay there. But there was enough ball screens that they got set tonight. When we did our job, we had success. When we didn't, you know, they're able to take advantage of it.
Anything else? Israel? Go ahead. Right here.
Have you had any other teams that have had similar challenges communicating and getting out of their comfort zones?
Not quite like this, but yes. I think everybody has that challenge to start the season in terms of talking. And so, but we'll get it fixed. We'll keep working on it. We'll keep working on it.
Brian and then Casey.
Is there something uncommon about Bert's ability to go up and get the ball with 2 hands in traffic?
He's done a good job. He's done a really good job of kind of getting it at the peak and keeping it. But, you know, the one thing is you can't keep it there. Like, you got to be able to chin it. And that was something that we would always talk with Zach about tucking his elbows in. Because you always are taught when you play basketball to chin the basketball, to protect yourself. But when you're 7'4", or 7'2", and you chin it and then you turn, you're going to hit somebody right in the noodle. And so then they'll say, like, hey, you can't do that. And you're like, what are you supposed to do? Like when you do, so we would always tell Zebo to tuck his elbows in this way and go this way. So when he turned, he didn't have his elbow up and, you know, crack somebody right in the head. But yeah, Will's just got to protect it then when he gets it. So we got to do a better job. I like our effort. I don't think we've embraced the physicality of the game. I think we have to communicate better, but I like our effort. We just gotta piece it together a little bit better. We're getting our hands on a lot of balls that we're not getting, but we're still around the basketball there. Now we can't dribble loose balls. We get, on the break, and we had a couple sloppy plays there. Just like be fundamentally sound, like just be simple, and be able to move the basketball there. But I like our effort to go after 50 balls and rebounds and long rebounds, but we should be getting a lot more of them. We just got to collect them.
Last one, Casey.
Matt, obviously, Fletch has started every game of his career, always been good at basketball, but has really started off well this season.
Right.
Has there been anything that he's separated in his own game?
Not really. Obviously he shot the ball well again tonight, and he shot 44% from three last year, so it's not any shock. But very intelligent player, very competitive. He's worked really hard. He's not going to run for the Olympics in track and field, but he has worked really hard on his sprints. He's worked really hard on his body, and he's put in time. So one thing that you don't understand when you're trying to develop as a player, you just do everything in your power to be a good player. He's done everything in his power to be a good player. And so but don't sit around and say well, you can't do this or can't do this. Try to embrace your players for what they can do. He brings a lot to the table for us, and he's trying like hell to lead and really help other guys. Sometimes you get a little bit of a wall because guys, they don't like sometimes taking it from other people, but you never ignore when intelligent people speak. You always have your ears open and be able to do it. He's very intelligent, like for his experiences or whatever. He'd make a good coach. I don't know if he'd have the patience for it, but he'd make a good coach. Thank you.